Well, hello all. So we're back again with Survivor South Africa, season 9, episode 11. Last time we had Teresa getting voted out. She could have saved herself by voting for Felix, but she didn't do that, and she kind of gambled on Tajan keeping his word and voting with them, but it didn't go like that, and she ended up going home. And now Felix is pretty pissed off. He wants to get rid of Tajan. And Tajan and Tony are trying to convince him that the next person they're going to vote out is Killarney, and they want to keep him. And he's playing along. You know what I mean? Smart gameplay on his part. He wants revenge, but he's not going to be emotional, and he's not going to show how he feels, and he's just going to play along with them. And it's great because they think they're making moves, and somewhere along the line they can still work with him if they show some sort of trust later down the line, even though they've lied to him twice. So we'll see how it goes. And then you got Tajan. He's really trying to explain his reasoning to Felix about why he did that. He was like, I really didn't want to do that right away. I really want to keep you. If they wanted to get rid of you, I would have tried to convince them. I would have talked to you or something like that. And it was just like, he was basically explaining he didn't want to take the risk because then it would put him in a bad position down the line, which not a good way to convince someone that you want to work with them when it shows that you, at the end of the day, you would not want to take any risk in order to protect yourself on all parts, and you would always go with the safe option, which means they can't really count on you unless it directly benefits you to work with them. But I guess he doesn't see it that way. He thought he made a good move, and he decided to explain it. That's on the blue tribe. On the red tribe, Felix is getting nervous. No, not Felix. Sorry, Phil. Phil is getting nervous. He's worried because Dino has an idol. I mean, yes, Dino has an idol, and he's worried that if they can't get Dino, they're going to get him. And he's just like all over the place with nerves, and he's worried, and he's panicking and all this stuff. And that's consuming his mind. Then you have Dante. Dante decided he has a plan to get rid of Dino now. He's still on this whole get rid of Dino train. Even though he could have cost him his game before. He's still on this train. So he decides to talk to Meryl because he's thinking in his head, everyone thinks him and Meryl is really tight. So he wanted to use this opportunity to sort of like plant the seed that they're not really that tight in order to get rid of Dino. So Dante tells Meryl and everyone and all of the girls, except I think the only people he didn't tell was Phil, Dino, and Shane, that he has an idol. And I was shocked. I was like, what? What is he doing? So he tells them he has an idol, and this is his plan. His plan is Meryl goes to Dino and tells Dino that he has an idol so that they can scramble and try to make moves or split votes or whatever the hell so that they can get rid of Dino. So Dino feels safe or something like that. He barely explained it, and he was just sort of rambling, and he was like, this is what we do, this, and Meryl, which is why she's great at the game. It was just seeing a master at work. She was very calmly just asking questions. She was like, okay, so what do we do? He's like, oh, well, we tell him this, and then she was like, yes, and what is that supposed? How's that supposed? And she was just calmly just breaking down what he's trying to do, and he's scrambling, and he doesn't know what he's saying, and behind the scenes, she was talking about how volatile he is in this game, and she doesn't know how much longer she can play with him, because he's just kind of like barking orders at her, and he's not making any sense, and he has all these radical plans, and he's just very emotional about it. And it just blows my mind. I was thinking that when he was talking about Meryl and how everyone think they're really close, and even though he was trying to distance himself from Meryl and try to form a closer relationship with Palizo, I was thinking, he's noticed that the girls are really tight, and then his days are kind of numbered, and maybe you'd stop focusing on Dino. Nope, decides to expose the fact that he has an idol and tell all the girls about it and try to strong arm them into a plan that makes no sense. It made zero sense because everyone knows Dino has an idol. So how is this plan supposed to help him get rid of Dino? And they already have the numbers, so there was no need to do any of that. It boggles my mind. But that's what he decided to do. All right, so we go to the immunity challenge. And it is basically an endurance competition where there will be standing on a log in the middle of a river. Well, a log that's standing straight up in the middle of the river, standing on the log, balancing on the log, and holding a ball over their heads for as long as they can. And I believe the prize was no, there was no prize. But one tribe is going to win immunity. That would be the tribe with with at least one member standing until the end, I guess. And that tribe wins immunity, but both tribes are going to tribal council, which means the tribe that wins immunity gets to vote out, cast a vote for someone on the other tribe. So the tribe that's losing has to then work around the votes of the people on the other tribe that's going to be voting for them as well. So it's an interesting twist. I like it, and it's a great way to go into merge, especially because they're going to go to merge it right after this. So I believe they were down to 10 before, and now they're down to now they're down to 9, and I think they're going to be 8. So that's merge right there. So I believe what is her name? Miriam. She had a plan that if they lost, if they won if they won tribal immunity, she hid her diplomatic immunity in her water bottle. And what she was going to do, she was going to give her water bottle to Steffi. That way, Steffi has the diplomatic immunity, and all Steffi has to do is trade herself to the other tribe. That's going to be safe, and then she's safe. That's her plan. Because I believe the diplomatic immunity is only good until merge. It can no longer be used at merge. I think a lot of things expire at merge as well. All right, so wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ooh, there's 12 people. It's 12 people. Did I count that way? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, it's 12 people. So that means they lose one more, is going to go into merge with 11. Okay, so that makes sense. They would go into merge with an odd number. That way they vote up 4, and it'd be final 5. Okay, all right. go into with 11, 9 people on the council and 2 people. Okay, yeah. So okay, so that makes sense. All right, so the competition starts. And right away, I believe the first person to drop was Felix. Felix dropped, and which I believe his tribe is blue. So he dropped from the blue tribe, and then Dante dropped. I believe he dropped intentionally, and he went to the bench and starts talking to Felix and trying to talk strategy. And Felix pretty much threw Tajan under the bus. He threw Tony under the bus. All of them. He really wanted to get rid of them, so he was giving information right way to Dante, and Dante was he was eating it up, and he was like talking about how he's going to get rid of Dino and all this stuff. And I believe because Dante and Felix have a prior relationship, because I believe they played on a season before together. They have a prior relationship, so they have a good relationship. Interestingly enough, he also has a good relationship with Dino. Him, Dino, and Phil were going to work together. And Dante wants to get rid of Dino. So it's an interesting situation for him to be in, where he's working with people that are pretty much going against each other. Right. So as they were talking, the next person to drop was Shane. And Shane always makes me laugh. He walks up, he goes there, and they're talking strategy and all this stuff. And Dante turns to Shane and he's like, so who's going to be the next person to go? And Shane was like, Dante. And he looks up at Dante and he was like, I mean, Dino. I was like, oh my God. Shane is hilarious. He really meant that Dante too. He was pushing for Dante before. It's just that Dino and Phil didn't want to work with him. But he said Dante to Dante, and he's so ridiculous that they thought he made an honest mistake. Uh, I don't know. He's growing on me. He's growing on me. Before it was just kind of clownish, but he's growing on me. That was hilarious. Oh my God. And I think I can't remember who dropped after that, but eventually the numbers started going down, and then it ended with 3 people on the blue and 2 people on the red. I think the 2 people on the red that was still standing was Phil and Dino. And on the blue, it was Tony, uh, Tajan, and Steffi. And Steffi looked like she could be up there all day. She barely even moved. Everyone was like in pain. She was killing this endurance comp, like freaking. I don't know, man. She looked relaxed. She was smiling. She was chilling. So those 3 are up there, and they were talking strategy. And Phil was talking about how nervous he is, and he's worried that he's going to be voted out next, and he wants this. So he convinced Dino to throw it. So Dino dropped, and then it was just Phil and 3 on the blue tribe. And uh, eventually he tried to hang in there as long as he could. And because I believe the other prize that they got was that the 2 people to last the longest on each tribe, on each tribe, one on each tribe, they get to go to some sort of getaway where they might receive a prize or something. And since Phil was the last one standing on the red, he already got that prize. So he already got to go. So he was pretty much trying to last as long as he can so he can win that safety. When he realized he couldn't win it, he pretty much made a deal with the other side that they're going to work together or whatever. And then he dropped, and the blue tribe wins immunity. So they win immunity, but they still get to vote, which is good for either Kehlani or Phil or Felix, whoever was going to go home. So they won immunity. I believe they after Phil dropped, it came down to the 3 on blue, and they had to choose who was going to get it, who was going to get to go to the getaway or whatever. And Tajan said, let Tony do it. She hasn't gone on one of those getaways because I believe he's been on one, and I think Steffi has been on one. So Steffi threw it, and Tajan threw it, and Tony got to go. So it's Tony and Phil that got to go on the little getaway thing. So everyone is assuming that Phil is probably going to get some sort of immunity or some sort of advantage in the game. And now that the Red Tribe is going to have to go vote someone out. So after they won after the Blue Tribe won the immunity, then Nico was kind of telling them how everything's going to go. And then Miriam stood out, and she said she had this advantage, the diplomatic immunity. She showed it to him, and she said it allows her to switch tribes or whatever. So she decided to switch to the blue. And I was confused as why she would do that, because she wasn't in any danger. But then I realized that is the last time she could use it. And plus, since her partner Steffi's already safe, there's no need for her to use it, switch it to Steffi. So it's the last time she could use it. So she used it on herself, put her on a tribe that's already safe, guaranteeing her safety. brilliant, brilliant plan. I like it. Hey, but I mean, it puts her allies on the tribe that she's leaving at risk. But uh, I guess she's confident in that. So she decided to switch over to the blue. She's got that immunity now, and she's ready to rock and roll. Steffi is not happy that she did that because Steffi wanted to make moves that are her own, and now that uh, Miriam is over there, a lot of her moves could kind of be counted as her and Miriam, so they can both claim, that kind of stuff. So she didn't really like that, especially after she had to throw that challenge that she could have obviously won to Tony. She was not feeling very good because she's not the most strategic. She needs those kind of brownie points when it comes down to explaining herself to the jury. And Miriam's already made very big moves, and Steffi hasn't. And Meryl's made big moves as well. Meryl has a social game on lock. Like no one's ever going to say that she doesn't deserve to win. So Miriam is getting points and Meryl is getting points. Steffi's the only one that's not getting any points. So she kind of feels a little shitty about that. All right. So let's get to the end. All right. So now they're back at the blue. I mean the red, and they're trying to decide who they're going to vote out. Turns out, uh, Dante's idol has expired, and now it makes sense why he revealed it. His idol only lasts up until I think right before merge, something like that, and it's expired now, and he can't use it anymore. So that's why he chose to reveal it. But now that he kind of revealed it, now no one is looking to get rid of him. And Dino also has an idol. And now they're thinking that Phil is probably going to get some safety too. So now they have to decide who they're going to vote out on their side. And Meryl is trying to think of plans. So she doesn't want to work with Dante anymore. So she goes to Dino and talks to him. And she's pretty much saying, I want to work with you. And he's like, tell me how the votes is going to go. What are we going to do? She's saying, I want to get rid of Dante, but he has an idol. And now we have to decide who to get rid of. And then she said, it's looking like Polizzo and Dante is getting close. Polizzo, who tried to get rid of Dante, and in trying to get rid of Dante, she gained trust with Dante, and now Dante wanted to make her his number one, but she's not really aligned with him like that. She's just kind of playing the numbers. But now, because of that advantage that she thought she had, now it's kind of backfiring because now they're thinking of getting rid of Polizzo because she's not in the Miriam, Meryl, or Shane and Dante alliance thing, and they are thinking they can't get rid of Phil or Dino. So it's either Shane or Polizzo. So they're looking to get rid of Polizzo because, as Meryl said, Shane is not a threat, and he's definitely not a threat. He thinks he's playing the game, but he's not. He's not. He barely talks game to people, and when he's ready to talk game with them, they don't take him seriously because he just comes out of nowhere and just starts rambling nonsense. All right, so that is their plan on the blue. Then I believe. Oh, hold on. Right. Tony and Phil go to the little getaway where they had tea or whatever it was. But the advantage that they got was they they get a chance to win a hidden immunity idol that is good up into merge, but it's a two-parter. It means that each of them only get a half of the idol, and it's only good when they combine it. And in order to win the hidden immunity idol, they had to guess who is going to be voted out. So they have two people two different alliances, two different tribes. So the first thing that Phil does is he talks to Tony about what Shane said to him about Shane saying he has Tony in his back pocket and he has, I believe, Tajan, or was it Steffi? He said he had Tony and Steffi in his back pocket, and that's what he pretty much pitched to Phil in order to work with Phil. So Phil tells Tony this, and Tony's pissed off, and she's like, I'm not working with Shane. Shane is ridiculous. That's not true at all. So now Phil is like, oh, okay, this is new information. He believes it right away because he already didn't trust Shane. And so he wants to work with her now because they're going to win an idol together. So they kind of have to work together because they're not working together. The idol is useless. So they have to guess who they're going to vote out. Their first idea was to get rid of Dante. But thinking that Dante's in the majority, he could be safe. So they're trying to think of an alternate plan. So Tony says, let's split the votes because you got split the votes because they line up their numbers and they're like, okay, we got 4 in that tribe, 4 in the other tribe. Let's do 4 on Dante and another 4 on what's his name? 4 on Shane. Yes. 4 on Dante, 4 on Shane. That's her idea. And then Phil counters with, that's a good plan, but why don't we split it instead of 4 on Dante and 4 on Shane? Let's do Shane. I think he said, let's do Shane and who was the other person? It was something completely ridiculous. It wasn't Dino, was it? Oh, Meryl. He said 4 on Dante and 4 on Shane and 4 on Meryl, because he's thinking Meryl is Dante's number 1. So if they can't get Dante, go for Dante's number 1. And he says Meryl. So they're going to split it 4 on Dante, 4 on Shane, 4 on Meryl. That's his plan. And Tony was like, okay, I can be good with that. But they have to decide which one of those two they think is going to go home. And they both said Shane. They're going to make it happen. They're going to make sure Shane goes home. So they're going to put their votes on Shane. So they write it down. They're all happy. They're giddy. They write down Shane. They put a little heart mark. I think Tony wrote the S and the H, and then Phil wrote the ANE, and then they put the heart next to his name, and they're all happy. And they're like, they're going to get an idol. And right after that scene of them being happy, writing down Shane's name and thinking they're going to go back to their tribe and convince everyone to vote out Shane or Dante or Meryl, Shane walks down the beach and finds an idol. And that is the end of the episode. And I'm just like, this, that was mind blown. Like that, it got me. That was an exciting episode. When Shane walked down the beach, saw the red string in the sand and started pulling it. And I'm like, he's not about to find an idol. He pulls it out, bag, idol. And I'm like, oh my God. Dante has an expired idol. The idol that got expired, another one was in play. Because I remember Dante talking about, since his idol is expired, another one's probably in play. And he wanted to go searching for it. But he didn't find it. Shane finds it. And Shane is the one they want to get voted out in order to win the idol. And I'm just like, wow. So many pretend advantages and advantage is in play that this is going to be freaking exciting. And they have to worry about split votes between tribes. And they want to split the votes on Meryl. Tony wants to split the votes on Meryl. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen because Miriam is not going to do it. Steffi's not going to do it. Like, it's just not going to happen. I can't wait for the next episode. Too excited.